My source tonight sits on the House Oversight Committee, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. And thank you for being here, because now this clock has started with the president signing this bill behind closed doors tonight. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, was asked earlier today about releasing everything. She repeatedly said, "We will follow the law." Do you expect that you'll get all of these documents by December 18th?
I do not. I absolutely don't.
Man, let me tell you something right now. If you blink this week, you probably missed one of the wildest political magic tricks ever seen in a minute. I mean, poof, out of nowhere, Jasmine Crockett tried to pull a fast one on the whole country like she was David Blaine at a budget magic camp. And look, before we even go further, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you like receipts, truth, and a little seasoning on your commentary, don't play with me. Go ahead and tap that bell too. I'll wait, because what I'm about to walk you through right now is the kind of story you don't want to miss twice. Imagine this. Congress is doing what Congress does, arguing, yelling, pretending to read things they know they didn't read, acting like C-SPAN is a stage play and we the audience is supposed to clap. And then boom, Representative Jasmine Crockett decides to toss one of the biggest political fibs of the season. And when I say big, I'm talking big, like buy one sneaker, get the other one for $300 sale. She tries to convince the watching public that Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, yes, doctor, yes, a regular dude, a medical guy with a stethoscope, is the same Epstein that the world already knows for all the wrong, nasty, and shameful reasons. Now here's where things get funny, because everybody, and I do mean everybody, was sitting there like, hold up, pause, time out, challenge flag, where the whistle at? Folks online were rewinding this like it was an NFL play, trying to figure out how she confused a Brooklyn pediatrician with an international scam. Sister really stood there on the house floor acting like she just uncovered Watergate 2.0, when all she really uncovered was Google autofill when typing a half name in a hurry. But you be the ref in this game. I want to hear what y'all think. Does this story sound believable or not? Drop a comment, yes or no. But here's what came out of that mouth of hers. Let's listen.
You talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor, doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people?
I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
No. You just don't tell the truth. That's where the problem lies. You mean to tell me you had a whole team, which means more than one person, and they couldn't put all this together? What kind of rush were you in? You just had to jump on TV and spill it? Well, the public ain't gonna believe that. Anybody that believes that should really question themselves. But go ahead, dig yourself in the deeper hole. Be my guest.
Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people.
Oh, but remember when you said this?
I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
You ever watch somebody double down on a mistake like they took a seminar on how to make it worse in 30 seconds? That was Jasmine. That's her. Yo girl. Instead of saying, my bad, I mixed the names up, she hit that classic modern political response. Well, what I said was not what y'all heard. Ma'am, We heard exactly what you said. It's on tape, in HD, with captions, in English, Spanish, and possibly Klingon. It ain't going nowhere. And before we get too far, if you're still rocking with me, like Dudes Radio. Yes, I mean right now. Don't wait till later and forget. Go on and hit that thumbs up so YouTube knows you're enjoying this truth buffet and so others can see it and enjoy it too. And drop a comment if you ever seen anybody fumble this hard on live TV. Alright? Let's keep it going.
Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
So after the moment goes viral, Dr. Epstein, I mean the real one, the innocent one, he wakes up like, I beg your pardons. I beg your entire pardon. Because ain't nobody ready to confuse a regular doctor with one of the biggest criminal scandals in modern history. He stepped forward like, ma'am, I don't even know these people. And there's nothing like waking up in the middle of a news headline you didn't even apply for. So let's just sit back and watch her scuffle. Because it just doesn't look like this newscaster is gonna let her anywhere off the hook. Listen.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
a registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So, number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
So we're really supposed to believe that. She really expects for people to believe that. But you know what? She expects them to believe it. And those who are knee-deep in what the mainstream media has to offer them every day when they wake up, because they need it like a shot. A lie, that is. They need it like a shot in the arm, intravenously, to feed them bad news about anything dealing with Trump, so they can continue their day in bliss.
Well, Stacey Plaskett was texting the Jeffrey Epstein that we're all
Correct.
talking about. You voted against the censure for her to remove her from her committees. You know, we pressed the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, on this last night. Maybe you don't think she should be removed from her committees.
Correct.
But why do so many Democrats seem unwilling to say it's inappropriate to be texting with a registered sex offender about what you're going to ask a witness at a congressional hearing?
So I'm not going to necessarily say that that's the case. Now, this is somebody that was a former prosecutor. Now, I haven't sat down and talked about all the specifics of why Stacey was doing what she was doing. I know that when she got up and she spoke, she talked about the fact that this is one of her constituents. At the end of the day, what I know of prosecutors is that they are typically talking to co-defendants. They are typically talking to the people that have the best information. And what you had was you had the former attorney for the president that was sitting there. And honestly, we knew, or she knew, or at least Jeffrey Epstein presented that he was very cozy with the president. He had more information, registered sex offender or not. The bigger question is, why is it that the president was so cozy with a registered sex offender even after he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions? And seemingly, he had absolutely been on the plane with him. We know about the birthday card. The bigger question is, why is the president of the United States not the one that is in the hot seat for his relationship, instead of us saying, oh, you know what, we're going to take her off of her committee because he decided to text her. Stacey didn't initiate that chain. Jeffrey initiated that chain, and she took the information. Just like if somebody texts me.
Yeah, but she was responding and saying, you know, what are you talking about? Quick, I'm up next. And then her questions were about Rona. But do you think that was inappropriate? I mean, would you text with someone who is a registered sex offender about what you should ask?
I honestly know that he had never been convicted of any federal crimes at that time.
But he had been in jail already.
He had been
got a
in
plea
jail.
deal.
And my deal is this. The Republicans are constantly texting with a 34-count convicted felon. So if it's okay for them to text him at any point in time, then I'm not going to say that that's right or wrong, especially to the extent that you're talking about kicking someone off their committee. Were they sexting? Was it a matter of her being involved in the pedophilia? No, it was nothing like that. She was trying to understand. Let's say Jeffrey Epstein said, you know what, I have these pictures, these salacious pictures, because I know that the president got down and did these things. Do you think that it would be inappropriate for her to ask about those things if he said he had personal knowledge?
I think
it's
the
important.
context matters, but obviously it seemed like he was helping her. But I do want to ask you before you go tonight, because in your home state, we've talked about redistricting there.
Yeah.
The federal judge saying that they have to use that 2021 map yesterday. I mean, this is what truly launched a redistricting arms race, basically, in this nation. I wonder, when you look at that ruling stands, do you think the blue states that have launched their own redistricting should stand down on it?
No, I don't. Because guess what? The president hasn't stood down. And the president started this. So if he wanted to start it and Democrats decide that they're going to finish it, then so be it. At the end of the day, number one, this is not a final ruling. We know that Texas has decided that they are going to appeal this up to the Supreme Court, Trump's Supreme Court, so it's not final. That's number one. Number two, we know that he now is applying pressure on Florida. We know that they were twisting the arms of those in Indiana to the extent that one of the Indiana Republicans ended up being doxxed here recently. We know that they took a seat away in Missouri. We know that they went to North Carolina after North Carolina, in my opinion, illegally took 3 seats last time. They took another seat out of North Carolina. We know that he tried to go to South Carolina. We know that as it relates right now, they're taking 1 or 2 seats out of Ohio. So no, I don't think that we should stop. I encourage Virginia to move forward. They have a mandate. We know that on November 4th, they overwhelmingly decided the Democrats should run their legislature. And I encourage Maryland and anybody else that can get into the game to get into the game.
And we'll be waiting to see if you get into the Senate game. You haven't decided, right?
I haven't decided.
Okay. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, thank you for your time tonight.
Absolutely.
Now, the crazy part is, Jasmine Crockett tried to sprinkle some justification on top of the confusion, like powdered sugar on French toast. She claimed her staff only had 20 minutes to look it up. 20 minutes? Baby, that's enough time to boil an egg, run 2 loads of laundry, and still verify which Epstein is which. We're not talking about somebody with a unique name like Thaddeus Trevonius III. We're talking Jeffrey Epstein, the name that broke the internet twice. Jeffrey Epstein. You gotta check that with both eyes open. And let me add this. The whole situation is a perfect example of why folks don't trust half the things that the politicians say. Because some of them don't double check nothing. They just grab the first result that Google throws at them and treat it like it came down from Mount Sinai on a stone tablet. And then they look at the camera like, believe me? No, mama. Not today, not tomorrow, and not ever. But the real plot twist, Crockett was using the whole misunderstanding like ammunition in a political fight she was losing. So she tossed it into a room like a flash bang and hoped the smoke would distract everybody. But spoiler alert, the smoke cleared, and it wasn't just her standing there holding a match. And speaking of matches, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the halfway reminder. Yeah, thought I'd forget? Nope. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next time somebody in Washington tries to rewrite reality in time. In real time, should I say. Hit that bell too, because this season of America Politics, oh, it's better than Netflix. Now let's break down why this moment matters. It matters because the public deserves the truth, especially when occasions come with heavy baggage. You can't just casually accuse somebody of being tied to one of the darkest criminal cases of the century just because the names look similar. That's like confusing Michael Jordan with the guy who fixes your screen door because they both have the name Mike. You can't just do that to people. Careers and reputations are on the line. Plus, using sensitive subjects like child exploitation for quick political points. Now that's foul. Real foul. Like stepping on someone's shoes at a cookout type of foul. It cheapens the seriousness of the issue and drags innocent people into emotional crossfire that they didn't ask for. Now this should have been a teaching moment. Slow down, check your information, breathe, drink water, and stop trying to win arguments with material you haven't verified. Because once that clip hits social media, because the internet does not forgive, the internet does not forget, and the internet will clown you until the end of days. Now before we wrap this up, let me hit you with one more reminder, because I love y'all and I want you to stay plugged in. Make sure you are subscribed, hit that button, drop a comment, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. This channel is here to keep you informed, entertained, and maybe even laughing while the political circus keeps circling. And that, my people, is the truth behind the Jasmine Crockett versus Dr. Epstein confusion. A mix-up, a meltdown, a masterclass in how not to research, and a perfect example of why we gotta stay sharp out here. Because they definitely not gonna tell you the truth unless we demand it. And we will, every single time. And a special shout out to those who chose to stick with us till the end. It means a lot and helps YouTube's algorithm to push our video out to the furthest extent.